Welcome back, kings and queens. It's your girl SP again with another video. So today we will be discussing how to heal after a divorce or a long-term relationship. Yeah, the tea is hot. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Okay, so I will be speaking from my own personal perspective. You know, I'm sure there are many things you could put in, take out, whatever the case may be, but I feel like this is the most condensed version I could put it in. So I personally feel that there are 4 steps, and yes, they are in order. I believe the order matters. So let's get it started. So step 1, it is okay to grieve and mourn your loss. Yes, it sounds a little weird. Typically, when we're talking about grieving and mourning, we're talking about a death of a human being or a pet or, you know, a death. What you have to realize is the ending of anything is a death. Whether it be the ending of you doing something, when someone ends an addiction, that's a death of their own self, you know. Anything. Anytime something is ending, it's a death. It could be looked at as that. It's no different with the ending of a relationship. That is a death of that relationship. And with any death comes a period of mourning or grief. It's no different here. So I'm sure everyone has heard of the 5 stages of grief. I feel it applies here too. So we'll go through that, but this is still considered number 1. So I guess 5, if you will, for the stages of grief would be denial. And no, denial is not just a river in Egypt. It's a thing. So what that means is you're in a place where you're like, no, this isn't happening. You know, we're not divorced. Or we're not getting divorced. You know, this will blow over. It's just another one of those things. It's denial. If some things you cannot come back from. Some things have to end, and that's fine. It's fine. But you cannot be in denial if you plan on moving forward. Number 4, anger. Yes, you will experience anger. You will. You will experience anger when you're in that grieving phase because you'll be upset about the time you put in, you know, the fact that it's ending, maybe even what transpired, if there was infidelity or other negative aspects of the marriage or the relationship that affected you. There will be anger there. You have to push through though. You cannot stay there. Number 3, bargaining. Now this one, I believe everyone goes through this too. And what bargaining is you're kind of in a weird stage where you're trying to make excuses, if you will. Well, if I would have just did my hair more, if I would have just brushed my teeth before we went to bed, if I would have just cooked dinner 7 days a week, we would not be getting a divorce. We would not be breaking up. All of these things are false. Most of the time, it's none of those little things that we're talking about. And it's truly a fight for control, if you will, to still try to feel and gain control over something. No, if you would have done those things, could it have changed? Yeah, maybe, but you know, we're already here. So it's not even a point of even doing that to yourself, you know? That's considered bargaining, and that's the 3rd stage. So number 2, I'm going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 if you haven't figured it out, okay? Don't think I can't count. I can. So depression. You'll definitely hit that depression phase once you work through the bargaining because you have realized it's probably nothing I could have done. So now you're down in the dumps. You're in this place where, woe is me. You know, how did I get here? Why me? Why me? You know? Again, you cannot stay there. You must push through that because the next step is the most important in the 5 stages of grief. It's the most important, and this is how you work through it. Acceptance. accepting that despite all of the things that you did and tried, accepting that it has ended. And that kind of segues me into what my number 2 was, which was acceptance is key. So the 5 stages of grief, if you follow those in order, you will get to acceptance eventually. There is no particular time frame. I can't say that. Everyone is different, and maybe even the work required, depending on what took place in your marriage or your relationship, it may require more work. You might work through those 5 stages for a year. Everyone's different. But eventually you will need to arrive to acceptance, which is key. Acceptance is when you get to the place where you say, okay, this is real. It's happening. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm here. Let me move forward. So that's it. You just accepted that it's over. So you're past the grief. You're past the mourning where you could barely feel, you could barely accept, you were still in denial, you were angry. You're past all that. Now you're in acceptance. Oh, you know what? I get it. I understand how we got here. We're here. Let's go. Let's do what we got to do. Okay, moving on to my number 3, which is forgiveness. Forgiveness is definitely key. And I know I've talked to people during my journey. I've even went through this phase where I'm like, forgiveness? Do I look stupid? Why would I forgive somebody? Especially, just not to get too detailed, but there was infidelity in my relationship. So I'm like, forgiveness? I ain't do nothing. Like, why would I forgive? Like, I didn't do nothing. Or, that's just a feeling that we all have. But what I came to realize when I did more research and more reading and et cetera on forgiveness, it has nothing to do with the other party at all. It has nothing to do with the other party at all. It's all about you and you releasing your attachments to the situation. Remember, attachment is always rooted in fear, okay? While connection is rooted in love. So when you are having a problem with forgiveness, it is due to an attachment you have, essentially a fear that you have. You will have to dig deep to see what that fear is. Fear of what, or who, or whatever the case may be. But you are releasing your attachment to the situation. That is all. You are not saying, hey, you know what? Thank you for cheating on me. You did good, buddy. You're not doing that. You're not agreeing with them. And I felt that way for a while, that, hey, if I say I forgive this person, that means I agree. That means it was cool. That means I liked it. That means, no, it does not mean all of that. I don't know where we get that from. Forgiveness and reconciliation are 2 different things. And we could do a separate video on that. But forgiveness is key because it's releasing you of your attachment to the situation. And at this point, that's all you need to be concerned with is you. You're working through something. It's already over. Focus on you. And that brings me to number 4. Focus on you. You have released the attachment to the situation. You have forgiven. You have worked through grief, acceptance, forgiveness. It's time now to recalibrate and put all that energy that was once going into that other person and into the relationship, into household building or whatever the case may be. Now this is the time for this to go into you. Self-care, self-love, getting back to getting to know yourself again. As I stated before, I was in a relationship for 10 years. So from 21 to 31 years old, I had to get to know myself again. I'm a totally different human being. I've learned and grown so much in a whole decade, So self-care is key. You're doing your self-care is not always beautiful. Let's start there. You're going to be doing shadow work, getting into those dark and ugly parts of yourself that you're scared to look at. Why did I react this way? How did we get here? Why am I divorced? Why did I even get married in the first place? That's a part of self-care. But you get the good stuff too. Get your nails, your feet done, massages, meditation, cleansing of your spiritual energy and your auric body. All of these things are key to getting back to you. Start doing things again that you used to love in your childhood. If you used to draw, paint, do that again. And if you're a musician and you haven't played in a while, start playing again. Whatever these things are that you love, go back and watch some old cartoons. You are the most important piece in your puzzle. You will always be. And I could do a whole nother video on why you should never even lose yourself in a relationship in the first place. But, I can honestly say I did. It's easy to. But guess what? You can always come back to yourself by being yourself, by just being. And that's what I mean. Just being, sitting with yourself. In those times where you feel like, hey, I'm lonely, I want to call someone, or I need someone here, sit in that. Be by yourself. Self-care, self-love, meditation. Those are all things that works for me. Doing that shadow work though. And like I said earlier, why did I even get married? How did I choose this person? Was it peer pressure from my family or buying into their beliefs? There are tons of things that go into that. You need to do this work so that when you're interested in possibly jumping into another relationship or marriage in the future, that you understand yourself more and you've thoroughly thought about it so you're not repeating cycles. If we do not heal it, we will repeat it. It will be a totally different person, but it will be the same situation because the universe is trying to wake you up. So I saw the way that my life got shaken. The universe was waking me up. I don't think I was ever meant to be there. Of course, yeah, let me rephrase that. I was meant to be there because it brought me where I am now. But in the long term, I don't believe I was ever going to reach my destiny where I was. I was in a place where I was making myself little and where I was trying to put more energy into being someone's wife than just being Sasha. Okay? So, again, if you think I missed anything or anything that you would like to add or anything you would want me to elaborate on that could possibly be a separate video because this is getting a bit long, leave your comments down below and we can discuss. I'm very interactive. I love talking back and forth with people on my Instagram as well as on here. So I'm looking forward to getting you all's feedback on the video. So again, I hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, all of the above, and holla at your girl. Peace.